Hi, today I'm going to be making a mini pumpkin, or at least having another go at making a mini pumpkin because I have already tried it once. Welcome to the channel. My name's Rachel and I'm one half of us on our journey. The other half being my husband Steve, who did a night shift last night, so he's taking some well-earned rest till he has to go back to work tonight. Between us, we do home, travel and crafty adventures, and if that sounds like something that's of interest to you, then stay tuned. Today's crafty adventure, as I mentioned, is making a pumpkin. It's autumn, it's the season. Everybody seems to be doing some crafty goodness related to autumn at the moment. So I thought I'd have another go at it. Now, as I mentioned, I have tried this once before. It did feel a little bit painful, but I thought let's give it another go and see if I can make it work a little bit better this time. I'm sure there's lots of tutorials across YouTube, but the one I particularly followed was Chelsea Bowen. I'll put the name and hopefully a screenshot of her video up in the top corner here or here so that you can have a search for her if you want a more in-depth version of her creating the micro pumpkins. In the interest of the here and now, I had a vision of a little bowl of mini micro pumpkins sat on the mantelpiece. It's autumn and it's the season for it. It didn't go wonderfully smooth the first time. I think this one little pumpkin here took me a good 20-30 minutes, bearing in mind I was following a tutorial at the same time. So this time, because I know what I need to do and I don't need to follow the tutorial, I'm going to give it a go and see if I can pull it off in a slightly faster time, because I think to make a bowl of micro pumpkins at 15, 20, 25 minutes a piece, not really what I want to do with my time. So we'll see how it goes. First things first, I've picked a beautiful fabric, kind of very seasonal and appropriate, so take a look at that there. So mushrooms, absolutely on theme, and hopefully it'll turn into a beautiful pumpkin. Now, first things first, I'm going to cut my fabric, going straight for it, and I am cutting a 5cm by 10cm fabric size. I'll put the measurements up here in the top corner. Therefore you will be able to cut your own fabric. I am going to cut it a little bit bigger. This is brand new fresh fabric, so by cutting it a little bit bigger I'll be able to cut some pieces off for my scrap collection, because one of the things I like to do is for every fabric I use I like to keep a little bit of that fabric, and hopefully one day I'll turn it into a quilt of all the fabrics I've used over my sewing time. Who knows when that'll happen. So just using a rotary cutter, leaving me with a cut of fabric which is 5cm across, and now I'll do my 10cm long. There I have the fabric that will become my mini pumpkin. So with my fabric right sides together, I'm going to fold it in half, and then I'm going to sew down this side here. Next, I'm going to turn it inside out so that the sewn seam is now on the inside. Now, depending on how proactive you are, you may want to press this so that the seam sits nice and tidy. Next, I'm going to turn it wrong side out again so that we can do a gathering stitch. With the gathering stitch, I'm just going to do a secure stitch here so that the thread doesn't move as I pull at the end of all of this. And then now I'm just going to be able to tack through here with a nice long stitch. Then with that nice long thread, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to pull it in there, and then what we can see here is we've got a ruched end there. You just need to secure that down. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to wrap the thread around it there, and then use my needle to do some securing stitches there. Once you're happy that you've secured it at the end there, you'll then just be able to turn it inside out so that you've got what looks like a little pocket there, which we're now going to be able to put our stuffing inside. Just use as much stuffing as you want, so it's as fat or as loose as you want it to be. I feel in my first one I didn't add enough stuffing, so I'm going to try and add some extras in here. Now it's full of stuffing, we're now going to sew a nice tacking stitch across there. Obviously we are right sides out now, so afterwards we're going to be tucking the raw edges inside to our pumpkin, but you're not going to pull it super tight straight away because we are going to have to put the stem in there as well. And as before, we're going to pull shoving our stuffing in to make sure the stuffing's all in, but at the same time we're going to tuck it in, whether you do that with your fingers or whether you choose to do that with a kebab stick or whatever your stuffing choice is. Doesn't have to be perfect, or at least in my opinion it doesn't, because what we're going to do is we are going to be stuffing in our stem, which will probably hide a multitude of sins anyway. Sometimes it can help to use a glue gun again, so that as you push in, your fabric's got something to hold on to. Once you're happy with what it looks like, still just holding onto the thread there because I haven't secured it, we're then going to be putting in our stem. You can make a fabric stem if you want, or you can use Nature's Bounty, and we have got something out of the garden here, so this is what I'm using. Piece of wood was originally a lily from a flower that I bought from Tesco's, I think it was, and the lily died, but I've kept the sticks because I thought they might come in use one day, which it seems that they are going to. With a blob of glue, I'm going to squeeze this into the gap that I left. Give it one last tug so that we're 100% happy that it's secured, and then again using the thread and needle, secure that off. At this stage we have a cute little ball shape that we're going to turn into something that more resembles a pumpkin. And then just to give it the pumpkin look, what we're going to do is we're going to come down the top here just with our needle till we pop back out the bottom there, and then what we can do is we come back in the top here, popping back out the bottom again. What that does, that gives us a piece of thread that we can now tighten up, and it pulls in the pumpkin so that it has a slightly puckered look to it. We can come back up the top here, popping back out the bottom, and we can see our original one there. So we're going to place that one slightly further along, again pull in tight to give it the slightly puckered look. We can keep repeating those steps until we're happy we've got evenly distributed pumpkin. A slightly deformed pumpkin, close off just with a little bit of stitching, and we have a imperfectly perfect pumpkin, which we compare with our original, and we now have two pumpkins. As I did with this one, you can put a little leaf on the top. Using the glue gun, add it onto your little pumpkin, and you now have a pumpkin pear. If you have enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe and hit the bell notification, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!